Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. Heh, get it? Because his name's Edgeworth? Heh. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is the producer and who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Oh, you're going down. Oh, you don't stand a chance. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Mr. Vasquez, or Mrs. Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Oh, don't worry. We will poke so many holes in this testimony. All right, I'm ready. Give it to me. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterward, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T1 steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, but we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you?
The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. Thought it might be risky to walk over that monkey's head toppling over.
Van added to the court record. Mel uses van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer. Okay. I see. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, that's a very odd detail. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Okay, let's read this one more time. There's probably something I missed. And it's a little before noon. Okay, this is consistent. Rehearsal went Studio 1. For Tito, I had Sal take me. 2:30 took a 15-minute break in the meeting. The T-Bone's on the table in front of the trailer. Does that contradict something? Steak plate found in the employer on a trace of symbols on a large bone. Oh wait, oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? The plates were empty. Like the plates didn't have anything on them outside the trailer. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind.
Mr. Wright, need I remind you that it was a T-bone steak?
Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manila ate a table outside the trailer. Yep, they were empty. Yep. Oh, that was such a random detail, but I'm okay. I'm happy that I actually looked at it. I'm happy that I actually paid attention to the thing this time, because otherwise I don't think I would have spotted that. I ignored the plates the first time, but and this time I'm like, okay. Yesterday what I did is like, okay, look, yeah, these are the things that I didn't see last time, but I looked at them this time and I didn't like consciously make note of it. But yes, they were empty. The plates were empty. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone too. That'd be something. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere. Like the incinerator. The incinerator! Such a random detail. Such a random detail. Because I thought about it yesterday. I thought about, like, why is this incinerator here? And that's why. That's why. I see. Then what was Ms. Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai. Boom! She was meeting with the Steel Samurai! Order! Are you saying... Yes, Your Honor. as Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak. She ran into the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You killed him with your own hands!
Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of a stunt are you trying to pull, Wright?
Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it?
Yes.
Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I.
Oh, game on, Vasquez. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again?
Oh yes, the samurai spear.
Yes.
I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How can I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon?
She couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't, but... Okay, so then what was used as the... Did she just plow over him with the truck? Like, did she just say, hey, stand there, stay right there. I'm gonna go in the van, I got a surprise for you in the van, and then she just, like, used it, like, the van was the murder weapon? No, it wouldn't be that. Because, wait, what does the autopsy report say? The autopsy cause of pierced through the chest by a spear. Wait a second! Pierced by the chest. Oh, sorry, pierced through the chest by a spear. That's genius. That is pure genius. Because look, the things are in shape of a spear. And if it kills somebody once, then if she did it again, nobody would notice. Because it was already bent. That is absolutely genius. You couldn't, could you? I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as the weapon. Pretty much anyone would.
Huh. You see?
Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case.
Meaning?
The samurai spear was not the murder weapon!
What?
Oh, we got her now. We got her now.
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
Yeah, and you want to... Yeah, except that the victim's body also happened to not be where... Like, the... Wait, that... Okay, so, okay, right, okay. So the murder took place at Studio 2. But the body was found at Studio 1. What was found next to the body at Studio 1 has no bearing on anything, because the body was... he wasn't killed there. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Well, okay. So, I don't think this isn't the best time for me to pull the 5-year-old photo card, because that's not technically proof that it wasn't. That's just like, well, maybe this could happen. That has to be what happened. That has to be what happened, right? But that's not technically proof. But remember, didn't I? Oh, you know what? I did say that. I said, back in, like, the first trial, I said something along the lines of, I feel like it'd be pretty hard to use... No, I said that it's perfectly viable for a kid to use the spear if it was broken in half. So no, I did say that. However, I'm now just realizing that if it was broken, I have a hard time believing that she would have been able to use it as the murder weapon. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon.
But that is the murder weapon.
Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action run through, but someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now, tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? I hadn't actually considered that. He's wearing a costume that's that thick. Order.
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're...
Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then.
Let's go to that photo. Is it gonna be take that, or it's probably gonna be take that? Take that! Look at this photo.
Whoa, what is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios.
What does this have to do with the current case?
Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What? Are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago?
Mr. Wright, continue.
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss Deke Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had to have himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say.
In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago.
Precisely. Ironic, isn't it?
Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my scriptwriting staff.
You deny that what I say is true?
Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? In the evil magistrate's costume that he has. Are you then claiming that I carried the body?
No, you drove with the van! The van! That's what the van was for, Dick! You drove the van! Because Salmonella took you! Salmonella took you! He drove you two over with the van! Yes! Yes, in this 15-minute break, because the van! You put the body in the van! And that would have cut the time in half!
How can I have disposed of the body?
You wouldn't have had to!
The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands, such as the van?
For instance?
Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
Do we have a photo of that? We do! We have a photo of the van! Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1. And you used the studio van to do it! Recall your testimony.
There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drag me.
You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator?
Of course I'm suggesting that. Of course Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body has to be placed in the van and put into costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue?
No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun.
No, she's not the type of person to concede to that. I win? Everybody, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. You've got something else up your sleeve, don't you? So what happens next? Don't me. Don't you have anything to say?
What would you like me to say?
Huh? I lost? Something like that?
I just said that.
What? So you mean D. Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jack Hammer. Everyone is still very much surprised that this is taking this turn of events.
Who can say?
Yeah, huh?
Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer.
Right.
But that is only a possibility. proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright.
What? How in the world can... That should have freaking worked. It didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course, it's as the witness says. Suddenly, it does seem very likely that she did, but there's no proof.
Even Edgeworth doesn't seem sure of himself anymore.
Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving.
What do I do now? Testify again. I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all that there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time.
Damn. To come so far only to fail. No, there's gotta be something we can do.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Ms. Vasquez.
Edgeworth?
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't.
I see. Very well.
Your Honor, I request that the timing of that was perfect. I don't know why, the timing of that was perfect. I request that the witness testify again.
You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness.
I just want to hear your testimony again.
Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes,
Indeed, verily I say. Ergo, I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that. Edgeworth. Yeah, there's more to the story there, but we'll deal with that later.
I was with Sal and all that, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying that he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer and gave my script and direction note.
Huh? I see no issue. No, I see an issue. Mr. Roy, cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. I mean, this one seems pretty easy. If they went to the studio, if they truly went to the studio thinking there was going to be a rehearsal, not because they had to hide the body, then riddle me this, Batman. Why would she not bring her script and direction notes? The script and your direction notes?
Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen.
No, I guess not. No, press harder. Why didn't you wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes?
Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything.
Why?
There was a murder, after all. We began rehearsing after that.
Which you didn't know until you went there. Yeah, I did.
Very well, Mr. Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement.
Huh?
I think Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be rehearsal. Could you see what that means? She would have to know about...
Exactly! See? Edgeworth is on our side. I don't know why he's on our side, but he's on our side. And also, I don't know why Phoenix didn't object to that.
Order! Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation?
I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me.
So the prosecution...
I'm genuinely smiling because Edgeworth is helping us. Like, this is awesome.
So the prosecution's in cahoots with the defense? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any acting scenes, so I left them behind.
No. No, he wasn't. Hold it a second. No, he wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, that's wrong. It wasn't No. Will Powers is the one that got hurt, not Hammer. Hammer wasn't injured. Will Powers is the one who got injured. Okay, how do we prove that? Wait, just this would be enough. Pull it. Objection! You knew that Hammerhead was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers! What? We got you now. This is so much fun.
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Pretending?
One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured?
I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong.
I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. And when he was doing this, and what was he doing this?
Well, it would have to have been after he put on Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2 where he was murdered.
Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order, I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim?
Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez.
Very well. I have a question for you.
Oh, why are the real killers always so persistent?
Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he's fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would you have killed the victim?
I'm, like, actively running everything we've learned over the past weeks, almost weeks worth of investigation through my head, trying to figure out what her motive is.
Does the defense have anything to say on this matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
Okay, we need to think. We need to think really hard. It's gotta be... Okay, so let's think about what happened 5 years ago. Okay, 5 years ago. So, he accidentally killed someone, and maybe she got sick of protecting him. That's the only thing that makes sense, is that she just straight up got sick of trying to protect him. That's all I got. But I have to be confident. Of course I can prove it. Okay, I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to this court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. The only thing that I have up my sleeve. This is my proof.
This is the photo from before?
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change.
Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate.
Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Ms. Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Mr. Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never got rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Mrs. Vasquez's motive for murder.
That was legitimately the only thing I had on my sleeve. I have nothing else. I guess she just had no motive then. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Ms. Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Ms. Vasquez.
What? What?
So, okay, let's think about that. Let me think about that. Okay, so he uses the sleeping... That actually makes perfect sense. So he uses the sleeping pills. He uses the sleeping pills to disguise... to get Mr. Powers asleep. Goes to Studio 2. Plans to kill Ms. Vasquez to get the weight off his shoulders. But frame Will Powers for it, so that he gets to elevate his spot, like, take his spot as the Steel Samurai, right? So that's the motive, right? Jackhammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jackhammer stuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jackhammer wore the costume to fool the security lady thinking he was Powers. Then Jackhammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So, you did do it, didn't you?
Yes, I am guilty. It was me.
Well, ordinarily I would say that was easy, but this is rough.
Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah!
Oh,
Miss Vasquez. What? What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel!
Don't touch, I don't know who's speaking.
No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
it appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yeah. Edgeworth may have helped us, but he can't let me to my own horn too much.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers,
Not guilty. Oh, that confetti is so satisfying. After all the turmoil it takes to get here, that is so satisfying.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Oh, that was something. October 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Ms. Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Because he wanted your fame. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... Okay, how do we prove the fame? Oh, this thing. We should probably give this back to the kid, by the way. He probably wants this back. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was a Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kid's show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP!
Oh! Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and...
Yeah, we might want to break the news to him.
Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Ah! Nick Edgeworth.
Hello. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth.
You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar!
Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Okay. So in Turnabout Sisters, remember when Detective Gumshoe asked, "Hey pal, you know Edgeworth?" And they asked us, yes, of course I know him, or no, I don't. I, as the player, answered, yes, I do know him, because I recognized him from the Turnabout encounter from Random Encounters. But they actually know each other in the game. Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings.
Unnecessary feelings?
Yes, unease and uncertainty.
Aren't those kind of necessary?
They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Oh?
Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if. They're rivals, right, Nick?
For now we are, I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again.
Nick! This is it! The new show starts today. You're gonna watch with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant.
Fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Powers. That's actually a really clever way. Oh, that's such a clever way to end it. Wait, music? Turnabout goodbyes. Is this the last case? Okay, so Turnabout. Okay, at this time I was actively looking for the title, and that said Turnabout Goodbyes. That sounds like the name of a last chapter to me. Like that sounds like a textbook example of a last chapter title. I don't want the game to be over. Okay, well, we'll cross the bridge when it comes to. But that case was so good. It was so freaking good. That was easily the best case so far, and that's a really clever way to end it with the whole Pink Princess thing. That's such a clever way to end it. And apparently there's more backstory behind Phoenix Wright and Edgeworth. They're probably going to go into more detail about that in this case, especially if it's especially if I'm right and it's the last case. Which I hope it's not. Like, I know there's 2 more games to come in the trilogy, but still, I don't want it to be over. I don't want to be 1/3 of the way done yet. But so yeah, everything about that case was phenomenal. The setting from the outset, the setting of that was what a brilliant place to set a murder mystery and a freaking movie studio. Excellent. And each day, so we just kept learning new things. Like, the humor was just as on point as it always was. Because it started off Studio 1, then moved to Studio 2. Every single setup had a payoff, and that is just, it's so good. It's so good. This game is so freaking awesome. Okay, that will be it for this episode. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all tomorrow for the start of what I hope is not the last case of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Goodbye.